Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome back to the Humble Servant Homestead, guys. Today, as you all can see, I am back out here in the garden once more again. That is pretty much just about every day, guys. I am in the garden, whether I am putting dirts on bed or I am out here filling some rows with mulch or I'm terminating something. I am always in the garden doing something. Of course, as you all can see right here, like I said, I was going to be transitioned in this garden here into no-till, guys. When I first started this garden here, I did have about 3 beds that we did with a no-till method. And absolutely, it works out. It works just fine, guys. I love it. And the reason for me coming on in here and starting this no-till beds right here is so that we can kind of cut down on a bit of the workload here inside of the garden. Now, if you all remember inside of a video, I said, hey, I will not be out here cultivating the ground forever. And so this is pretty much what I meant. Of course, over the years, with putting in all those amendments in the soil and getting that soil real nice and somewhat loose, making it easy to work with. And so that is pretty much what we did. So now we can transition on over into a no-till method, guys. Now, if you all remember last year in this area, we had sweet corn planted, and in the fall and the winter, we also had some turnips planted in this area right here as well. And of course, we came on in, we harvest whatever turnips we can harvest, and we chop and drop the leaves on top of these beds, cover them on over so they can go ahead and break back down into the soil. So adding in nutrients back into the soil, guys. Of course, as you all can see, what I am working on here today is planting out some onions. Okay, we are going to plant a little bit of onions. I'm going to take you all along with me. But if you all need a bit more in-depth video on planting onions, I go into the archive. I have a video that I did touching on quite a bit of information that you may need on planting your onions, guys. Okay, so as you all can see right here, this right here is some onions that we have started on the inside. They came up real nice and pretty. Trust me, they are a whole lot healthier than the ones that we did last year. Okay, so of course we had to went out to the store and buy some onions. And yes, this year we also still went out to the store and buy some more onions, guys. And I'll show you those in just a moment. Okay, so of course in our grow zone where we are located, we have to plant short day onions. Okay, pretty much, you know, as the days get longer, you know, these onions right here is when they'll start bulbing out in longer days. Okay, so that is why we have to plant short day onions. Of course, you do have long day onions as well, and intermediate days onion, and that is for different grow zone wherever you may locate at. So of course, speaking of grow zone, we are also here in grow zone 8A, and so this is the time that we will be planting out our onions. Come on along, we are going to get on down low, and we are going to go ahead and start putting some of these babies here in the ground. Okay, and just to give you all a look at what these onions here are looking like, we also have some real nice root system on these onions, guys, and absolutely that is what you want. Okay, so right now these onions, I am planting them a bit close. We're coming in right at about, I'll say about 4 inches to 5 inches with these onions right here, guys. Now, one of the things that we will also do as time goes on and these onions, they're starting to grow and they start to get big, we will come on in and we will thin out those onions. And that is before they start bulbing, because yes, we can also sell them as scallion, guys. Okay, so that is why I plant them so close, because as time goes on and come on in and harvest onions for the market, we will thin them on out. Okay, so of course, like I said, these onions right here, we're planting right at about 4 to 5 inches apart. Now, the depth that you want to go with these onions is right at about 1 inch to half of an inch, guys. You don't want to plant your onion too deep down into the ground, because once that time comes to where that it start to bulb, it will have a hard time forming those bulbs, especially if you're planting in heavy clay. You will have a hard time. Now, this soil right here that we are actually using, um, believe it or not, what it is pretty much goat manure, guys, that we are using. We are using goat manure. Just to give you a little breakdown of what we have in the soil, we have goat manure mixed in, and on the bottom, what we came on in and did, we laid it with chicken manure on the bottom. Then we came on in with the goat manure on top. And also, guys, we came on in with some leaf compost to also add in some fungus into the soil right here. Because, of course, what we are trying to do is to make sure that we are building healthy soil, to make sure that we have the best produce and the best veggies possible, guys. So, one of the things is we try to make sure we put, some good stuff on into the soil here. All right. So, of course, like I said, you don't want to go too deep with your onions. Okay. Um, and like I said, the reason why, you will have a hard time with them bulbing out. So keep that also in mind. All right. Now, another thing, as these onions right here grow, what you would also want to make sure that you're doing is make sure you give them quite a bit of water, guys, while they're in their vegetation stage. What do you mean by the vegetation stage? As they are putting on their foliage, that would be considered as the vegetation stage. You want to make sure you have quite a bit of water, because the bigger your vegetation on the top is the bigger your rings will be on those onions. So with saying that right there, guys, that you can harvest your onions at any time, or you can harvest scallions out of your garden at any time. How you know when the onions itself are ready is when all that foliage starting to die back and limp over. That's how you know, okay, it's time to start pulling my onions. Now it's time to take them in a cool, dry place and start curing them on a rack or of such, so that way, a rack of such where you're getting good airflow passing through. And that is pretty much it right there on the onions, guys. Okay, so as y'all can see, we almost to the end of this bed right here, and we're just going to be working it. We're going to just be planting onions on out until we're finished.
And that's what I was going to say, because it doesn't look like you have a lot of onions in your tray.
Oh, it's a lot.
But you planted pretty much this whole row.
Yes, absolutely. And this row, I started on it this morning. I came on out early, finished off this bed, and just came and just started planting, you know. But it's just one of those things, guys. It's that time where we have to make sure that we are getting what we need, or getting these plants in the ground in a timely fashion. Okay. So, and as y'all can see, planting these onions, even though I said to put them in right at about 1 inch, okay? If you can get them closer than 1 inch, where that is just a root you planting in the ground, that would be perfectly fine. Okay, you just want to make sure that they're standing up once you put them in the ground, just like that. Just put that root on in. And also what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to show you all the other ones that we planted out right at about, I'll say about 2 weeks or so. So come on over here and we'll go ahead and touch base on these. And so right here are the ones that we planted out about 2 weeks ago. As you all can see, they're doing pretty fine. One of those things is we have to just make sure we come on in and give them their water. It is about that time now for me to go ahead and put a little bit more fish emulsion on them, so that way we can keep them growing real nice and strong and putting out some real nice foliage, guys. Okay, so
I have a question.
yes.
Are you currently utilizing watering them with the drip system or not?
Yes, I am using the drip system, but if you notice, my drip system, my drip tape right now is right at about, I say close to about 2 foot from in between these ones right here. So I need to come in and put another strip right here down the middle, so that way we can make sure we're getting even amount of water for all the plants. So I do still come on in with the water hose and still water them, when the sun goes down, because that is the best time that you want to come on out to water, early in the morning or when the sun is going down in the evening. Okay, so pretty much that is it right there, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get back on it, planting out the rest of that bed right there. Of course, if I were to take you all along with me throughout this whole process, this video could probably be quite lengthy, and so we don't want that. Okay, so that's pretty much it right there. Just want to say thanks to each and every one of you all out there for stopping by the Humble Servant Homestead. And as always, peace and blessings to each and every one of you all out there. Remember, keep a smile on your face. You be happy, you be blessed, and be cheerful, guys. Now, before I leave here, make sure that you all are getting outside and planting something. Like I said, don't care what it is, just need to plant something. Take charge back of your food. At least if you plant it, you know what it is you're getting in return. You know what you're eating. You know what you're eating. You will be getting a whole lot better tasting produce. You don't have to be eating it and thinking and considering, hey, what kind of chemical did they put on this produce right here? You don't have to worry about that. So pretty much that is it, guys. Have a blessed day.